Neighbors and see how Russell does with another series to give him more snaps or whatnot. But like, I'm totally fine not seeing Dexter Lawrence. Like, I don't need to see him. I don't need to see Abdul Carter for half the game. But I agree with Chris, like, because they have come out so awful every year for the last couple of years, I just feel like they need a little bit more playing time, because again, we cannot go into the first 2 games and go 0-2. Like, we just can't.
With the Chiefs on deck, it can't happen. You can't be 0-2 in the division with the Chiefs on deck. Can't happen.
Yeah, like if we had the Saints week 3, then maybe it's a different story, but it's a night game at home against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Right. What a hell of a way.
Giants need to play from behind this season. Or, I mean, need to play from ahead this season, not behind. Like, they need to get wins early in the schedule. Yeah, sorry. They need to get wins early in the schedule and not be playing from behind all season long. So I want them to hit the ground running by week 1. I want everybody warmed up and in their prime, because there are going to be other teams that maybe do sit their starters in the preseason. Maybe they do come out of the gate a little bit sluggish. Let's see what Washington does. Maybe Jaden Daniels doesn't play in the preseason. Maybe they're a little bit slow. Actually, I think they're playing right now. I don't think that he played tonight. So maybe they're a little slow in week 1 and the Giants catch them by surprise, and all of a sudden, because the Giants played their starters, they're hot, they get the win in week 1, right? That's what I want to see the Giants do, because if they're able to do that, get some upset wins early in the schedule, they can carry that momentum throughout the rest of the season. Whereas if they are behind early in the season, you know how quickly this whole fan base is going to become demoralized, turn on the coaching staff again, scream to put Jackson Dart in the starting lineup. Getting off to a hot start is the most crucial thing for the Giants this year, especially after the last 2 years, but also knowing the circumstances of having a rookie behind Russell Wilson, who we ideally want to sit and wait before having to start. And also, I think we've heard a lot about the chemistry between Malik Neighbors and Russell Wilson in training camp and in practice, but there is definitely a difference between doing it in team drills against your own team versus a game setting against a different team. Even if it's against backups, it's just different. You've got to worry about stadium noise. You've got to worry about, false starts and just everything. The pass rush, the pressure is different. I want to see that chemistry start to get put into place in the preseason. That's why I really want Russ to play more than anything. I get it. He's 36 years old. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler. He's an experienced veteran. Does he need the preseason reps for his development? No, but does he need it to get chemistry? Not only with Neighbors, but with Slayton, with Wandale, with Theo Johnson, with the running back, making sure that they have the clean handoffs.
Yeah, with the offensive line.
Yeah, for sure with JMS. All of that should be sorted in the preseason, not in the Joe Judge version of the preseason, which is weeks 1 through 4 of the regular season. So I really want to see Russell Wilson get some reps so that this offense can finally get off to a hot start.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because we have gotten off the terrible starts. And if you go 2-0 at the beginning of the year, you have a little bit of a cushion because you're now 2-0 in the division. You would have the tiebreaker with the Cowboys and the Commanders, and that would be huge to have a little bit of a cushion, just in case you do, because you're going to drop some games, obviously. But you'd like that because, I still don't think we match up very well with Philadelphia. I do think Washington and Dallas are there for the taking. I do believe that we're on level with those two teams, whether Cowboys fans, Commander fans want to admit it or not, because you guys won 3 games. Well, it's not last year. This is 2025, and every year is different. So we'll see, But, Pharaoh, I understand you're always worried about injury. I can't sit here and worry about injury. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't play for the Jets in that preseason. 4 plays, he was out for the year. You just never know. First game of the season, the 1 year Tom Brady got hit in the knee, tore his AC, was done for the year. It could happen at any time. So I don't want to be I'm not saying throw those guys out there for a half. You don't want to beat them up too bad. But to Anthony's point, let Russ play a drive or 2. Just
at the end of the day, Bad Dog, if Russ were to get hurt, not that I'm hoping for this or thinking it's going to happen, is it the end of the world? Like it's you throw Jameis Winston in there to start the year. It's like he's got to get his reps. He's got to get some chemistry with Malik Neighbors. I'm not gonna. If this was a team that had Super Bowl aspirations, I would understand that mindset more. You don't want, like you happened to the Chargers, who I will no longer be picking to go to the Super Bowl. They were going to be my pick. Slater goes down. That could derail your whole season.
That could happen in practice too.
Yeah,
it can happen in practice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I get you don't want the guys to get hurt. I totally understand that, but I mean that can happen at any time. So Anthony's point, let Russ get out there. Russ is new. We know Russ knows what he's doing. It's not like he needs to learn, but he needs to learn this system. And you want him to have really good chemistry with, the receivers, and you want him to be able to figure out his offensive line and see what these guys are good at. You want him to get some kind of reps so he knows what he's dealing with when he's going against live competition where they, like I said, they can hit him. It's easy to stand back there in shorts and a red jersey and fire the ball down the field when you're not going to hit it. Even if the guys are getting in there, you're not getting tackled. So when you actually are going to get hit, it could change a little bit. So I would like to see him hit, leak down there somewhere or Hyatt or whatever, just I want to see Russ fire a moonball to somebody.
And I see Truth Bearer say the NFC is wide open. The Giants didn't have Super Bowl aspirations in 07 and 011 preseason either. I'm going to disagree with you on there. No, I won't go as far to say, I guess, Super Bowl aspirations, but the Giants went to the playoffs the 2 previous years. It's not like you went into the year thinking they were going to at least compete to at least advance potentially from within the playoffs. So I think it's apples and oranges there. And in 2011, they were just 4 years removed from a Super Bowl. I think it's a little bit
10-6 the year before too.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I agree in a sense that the NFC is a bit open. We look at Washington last year; they somehow got to the NFC Championship game, so it is unpredictable. You never know, and that's the beauty of the NFL. But I think you got to play the starters at least a little bit. The starters that are healthy again. I want to continue to say that.
Yeah,
if a little bit dinged up, you don't play them. But you got to play the starters. You got to get them some reps early on this preseason.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see him in game 2. I mean, there's no doubt. We have to see him somewhat in game 2 if they're not going to play tomorrow. But again, with the Giants, I think a lot of our problem was depth too. I mean, we had no depth like anywhere. Our secondary depth was nothing. Our offensive line depth was nothing. Our wide receiver depth, there was nothing. Our offensive line was nothing. Our defensive line was not like there's more depth there now. So at least we'll get a look at some of those guys, which I'm kind of excited to see how they do. And again, it's why you don't get too high or too low against preseason because Chris, I think you mentioned it, and maybe Anthony did. You don't know who you're playing against. Are they playing against the 3rd string guys? They're playing against the 2nd string guys. They're playing against the starters. See, I think Abdul Carter is going to go against the starters, and that's kind of why I'm really anxious to see how he does. Because I got to imagine the Bills are playing some of their starters on the line. They're not playing Josh Allen, obviously, but I want to see. I don't care who they're playing.
Who's the backup for the Bills quarterback?
I don't know. I don't know. We never see him.
That's true.
Not Nate Peterman anymore. I know that.
What's up, everybody? Giants training camp is here, and man, do the Giants look different and exciting this year. That's why I'm excited to go and see the New York Giants in person this year at MetLife Stadium. That's also why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There's more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. The NFL is right around the corner, and MLB is in full swing. I love using SeatGeek. I'm thinking about going to that Giants-Chargers game at the end of September. I'm going to go with a couple of buddies. I'm going to go on the SeatGeek app. I'm going to look for 3 tickets. I'm going to click those 3 tickets, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to scroll around and see which seats I think are best for me, which seats are the best out there, and I'm going to pick the ones I want. It's very easy to use. SeatGeek has your back. And each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know if you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And know that Giants Collective came through for you guys. You can use the code Giants Collective for $20 off of tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase using the promo code Giants Collective. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring the video and the live stream. And let's go, Giants.
They have Shane Bukelly, Mitch Trubisky, and Mike White.
Trubisky, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
He's at least a decent backup. He's a decent.
Yeah, he's fine. He's a former top 2 pick.
Yeah, boy, the Bears screwed that one up, didn't they? The Bears can't get a franchise quarterback to save their life. It's funny how they can't get a franchise quarterback. Green Bay seems to get one every time they draft one. Isn't that amazing how that works? But yeah, Mitch, get ready to meet my Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter's first sack, even though it'll be preseason, is going to be against Mr.
Ready. H50, thank you so much again. He says, we have to trust Daboll again. which reminds me, I see Tuto's not in here because we would already got something about Brian Daboll tonight. He said, I missed that over there today. He says, I think Daboll just wants a good offense to start the season and have healthy players.
I trust Daboll on a great many things, but his preparation for the regular season is not one of them. And I understand wanting healthy players, but I can't trust him in terms of the health of this team anyway, because we've had a lot of crucial injuries despite holding players out of the preseason. Honestly, I don't know if there was a moment last year where I was more pissed off than when I saw in week 1 that Daniel Jones wasn't playing, because that's when I realized what the vibe check of the season was. In the preseason, I already knew what we were doing and how bad this team was going to be. The fact that we were shielding Daniel Jones from the world while Patrick Mahomes was out there playing a quarter in the first preseason week infuriated me like no other. I mean, that week we even saw C.J. Stroud. I mean, C.J. Stroud went out against the Giants in week 2 of the preseason and looked fantastic. And then we had Daniel Jones throwing a pick 6 from his own end zone and then another pick down the sideline on the very next series. But the fact that he didn't play the preseason game prior, get a drive, it just infuriated me. Again, I saw Mahomes take preseason snaps. I saw Josh Allen last year. He's not doing it this year, but okay, he did last year.
Mahomes is, though.
Mahomes is playing a whole drive this weekend, and we just saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Is there even a quarterback wide receiver pairing in the league that has better chemistry than those two? And they still went out there and said, we can be better. Let's go compete. Let's go get warmed up for the regular season. So really, there's just no excuse for these starters not to get some reps, in my opinion, for the Giants. I think it's inexcusable the way that Daboll has prepared this team over the last 2 years. It's the number one thing that I think is a blemish on his resume, being unprepared in week 1. We've seen it back-to-back seasons. I would even argue that we did see it in 2022. We miraculously won that game against the Titans by the skin of our teeth off of a missed field goal. They were unprepared in the first half of the game. The Titans were a decent football team on paper. The Giants were decent as well. Yeah, we didn't score in the first half of the game. Came out of the gate sluggish.
The Cardinal game when we had the great comeback in the second.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
We were awful in the first
shut out in that first half, scored in the second half, and then week 3
we got shut out
once again.
The game before against Dallas. We didn't score for the first 6 quarters in 2023.
Yeah, I think the stat is like over the last 2 regular season openers, the Giants are outscored. I want to say it's 68-6.
Yeah,
if that sounds right.
Because we lost 40-0 and 28-6. Yeah.
There you go. So I mean, come on, it's just ridiculous. So I can't trust Daboll on week 1. I can't trust him on preparedness. I can't trust him on his strategy with the preseason. I can just hope that he's changed his strategy, that he's learned from the last 2 years of colossal failures and mistakes, and that he makes an adjustment. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, these are scrimmage games. Again, this is where you work on things. This is where you learn from your mistakes. This is especially with a new quarter. Again, Russ is a veteran, so we know what Russ is. But again, Russ is new to this team. He's new to the center. He's new to the receivers. He's new to the playbook. I have complete faith in Russ, but and Anthony's point, I would like to see him get a drive at least in the first game, and then a quarter in the second game. I'm not saying he's got to play all 4 quarters, but give him some reps with the starters against live competition. I don't want to. And one thing that worries me, I don't want to hear like in week 2 of the preseason, they play that scrimmage, the joint practice against the Jets. And like, well, that was his game. He's not going to play in the preseason game. I don't want that shit either, because they'll have a tendency to do that where they play him in the joint practice and they go, well, that's their game. I don't want that either. So, like you said, Anthony, we've gotten off to bad starts. I mean, everybody on this panel said it. Gotten off to terrible starts. Stop doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Do something different so we don't get off to a bad start. It was crazy. Where did this go?
In truth, I agree with that. What you said about Neighbors. If Neighbors is even 93%, I don't want him playing. He's got to be 100%. So I agree with that. With the point about Neighbors in the toe. If he's not 100%, I don't want him playing anymore. I agree with that.
I don't necessarily agree, honestly, because we learned that he wasn't 100% at any point last season, even in the preseason, and he played, and that helped him get off to a hot start in week 1. So apparently this toe injury is just, if it was the shoulder was still bothering him, this new injury, then I'd agree with you. But the toe seems to be something like he described it. It's a mosquito bite that won't go away. He's had it for years, and it just stays there. That's fine. So I think he's as healthy as he's going to be.
He's going to have to play through it in the regular season anyway. And it's
exactly.
So, yeah. You know what? No, I want Neighbors on the field.
Yeah,
neighbors,
we gotta see Malik. Fuck it. Somebody's got to say "fuck it" leak down there somewhere.
no one
If
neighbors
it's Jim, anybody, if it's DeVito, who cares? I just, hey, we got a huddle leak. Just run down that way as fast as you can. Just go get the ball. No, it's gonna be different this year. I say it every year, but this year I mean it. Truth Bear says, this is a good point too, because I love when people are like, oh, Russ sucked in Denver. Well, his first year he was terrible there. Sean Payton never wanted Russell Wilson. I mean, we knew that from the beginning. He had a bad 2022. In 2023, he had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Last year, he brought Pittsburgh to the postseason with Arthur Smith, calling a terrible game, and he made the Pro Bowl last year. So that's better than what we had here. You can say whatever the hell you want about Russ, but God almighty, it's a massive upgrade to what we had under center. But this is a great point. Arthur Smith took Russ's ability away when the Steelers were scoring 28 points a game. He just outplayed Burrow head-to-head, and they were in contention for the number 1 seed. So, I mean, I don't know. I like the fact that Kafka is going to call the plays this year, so Daboll can focus on coaching. But Truth Bear makes a great point there. Russ is going to have a little bit more of a fun offense, if you will, as opposed to what Arthur Smith. Plus, Pickens was disgruntled and he was hurt. And who the hell did he have there to throw to? He didn't have no Malik Neighbors. George Pickens is good. He ain't no Malik. So,
he's going to have, I think that too is what's exciting for a lot of Giants fans. Like for me specifically too, is the fact that because Russ is such a veteran and Daboll talks and says things like he's seen basically everything you can possibly prepare for in games because he's been around so long. And I think that alone is going to make such a difference from the type of offense and the type of plays that Kafka and Daboll are going to be able to run and be able to call that they haven't been able to do for the last couple of years. And yes, it hinges on the offensive line being able to block for more than a tenth of a second. Like obviously that's a big part of it. But if they're able to do that, I think we're 100% going to see a more creative and exciting offense. Like the Arthur Smith has been a mess the last couple of years. And look, I give Daboll a lot of crap, but I think that between him and Kafka, they are going to be able to make this offense more creative. They're going to be able to put a lot more on Russell's plate because they know he's capable of handling it, where Jones wasn't able to do that the last few years. So, if the offensive line can just block a little bit, there's no reason why this offense shouldn't be significantly better than what we've seen, but also relatively successful. Like they don't have to be top 10 in the league. They have to be better than what they were, which is not saying a lot.
Bottom of the barrel.
Like if they're average and can score 17 to 24 points a game, you're going to tell me our defense can't keep teams to less than 21 points? Like I think they're totally capable of that.
If we score 24 points, we're going to win a lot of games. This defense is going to keep us in these games. I don't care who we're playing. If this defense is healthy, we're going to be in these games. And you just hope the offense can make enough plays. And the good thing about Russ is notoriously he's very careful with the football. I mean, he's only thrown 111 interceptions his entire career, and he's thrown 350 touchdowns. He's not a guy that turns the ball over. And this is with him taking shots down the field. So you should have confidence in the fact that Russ, while he's not 2014 Russell Wilson anymore, 2015 Russell Wilson, he's still such a massive upgrade and a guy that's going to take care of the ball. He's going to make smart decisions. He's going to make precise and decisive decisions with the football, and that's going to help the Giants offense, and it's going to give them a lot more confidence than they've had, and there's going to be a lot less question marks. But the defense holding them in games, man, they're going to be competitive. They've got to find ways to win. This is the big thing. Winning is tough in the NFL. Russ knows how to win, but the Giants as a team really don't. They got to find that. Winning builds culture. I said it in 2022. They won a couple of games. They won a couple of games at the end of the game, and every week you felt like, okay, we're going to come back, and they did. And now it's got back to how we're going to screw this up, and that's kind of where we are. So that's why all you guys have mentioned it tonight. It is imperative that the Giants get off to a good start this year. Even if it's 1-1, you can't be 0-2. Like that shit can't happen because then right back to
in the division at that point with still 2 games to come against the Eagles. It's
it could spiral very quickly.
Yeah.